Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up today with a layout for Confessions of a Paper Addict, and it's a new design team. Woohoo! It's so exciting. So you probably saw yesterday that my sister had a layout up for Confessions of a Paper Addict, and there was kind of a hop, I suppose, for all of the DT, but because Jess and I share a channel, we thought we would spread our kind of releases out over 2 days, so not to overwhelm everyone, but this is kind of part of that DT hop, so to speak, even though everybody else's videos went up yesterday. So there's an awesome fun new team at Confessions of a Paper Addict, and Jess and I are super excited to stay on board. And so I am using an older cut file. It's not super old, but it's not a new release this month, and it is, I think it's called the Tricycle cut file. It will be linked down below, like it always is. I decided to do quite a dark mixed media in the background. I pulled out some paint, some distress, no, what's it called? Let me get it out. It is the Dilutions paint. And the colour, I can tell you, is something pomegranate, maybe? Yeah, pomegranate seed. And then I came in over the top with my Vicky Bouton rose gold glaze, and then I also used a baby wipe and dabbed a bit of the Nuvo embellishment mousse. Oh, I'm dropping it in. What colour is this? Nuvo embellishment mousse in powder blue, which I've used a heap of, and I've actually hit bottom, so to speak, which is pretty exciting because I do believe they are pretty prone to drying out quite quickly. So I'm glad I'm getting a lot of use out of that. Now, you will have seen I used a spatula to apply the rose gold glaze. It looks pretty full on in the camera, but when it dries, it definitely dries a lot less kind of pink. I mean, that's the shimmer that's coming through that you can see from my lights above my layout, which is why it looks so pink. But in real life, it actually more, once it's dried, it is a pinkish colour, but it's much darker, similar to the paint, the pomegranate paint in the background. So you can see with me also with my baby wipe, dabbing a bit of the Nuvo embellishment mousse over the top as well. And it is a blue colour, as I said, a light blue colour, but it just adds a little bit of different contrast and also brings in some of the colours that I include in the embellishments and the papers that I've backed the Tricycle cut file in. Now, the cut file in the shop has little tassels that come off the handles. I just cut those off, mainly because they were sort of in the way of where I wanted to put my photo, and also I just didn't think it needed tassels for this particular layout. And I'm using a few different bits and pieces from various One Canoe 2 collections. I think this one's a lot of willow, as well as goldenrod and Creekside and Saturday Afternoon. Pretty sure is a lot of what is included. Yes, from memory. Now I fussy cut those tree stumps, I guess you'd say. I fussy cut those from Creekside. I think they were a 12 by 12 paper. I've added in a little bicycle ephemera piece. I wanted to get a few more bicycles on there, but I just couldn't quite make it work. So I just went with the one bicycle piece. And again, it doesn't really fit. My son's not riding a bike in these photos. And he does have a bike, which he loves, but I just didn't have any photos of it. And I wanted to kind of scrap the memory of him loving all things wheels. So that's where I'm taking this layout. I'm talking about the wheels that my son loves. So the pictures are of him pushing the trolley thing that holds the laundry basket when you're outside, and there's also an upside down wheelbarrow that he climbs on and plays with the wheels, which he loves. So that's kind of where I was heading with this layout and why I chose the Tricycle cut file, which I know isn't, maybe an obvious fit, but yeah, you'll see. I think my title brings it all together in the end. And you can see I did my mixed media where I wanted to put my photos. I've added 3 photos to this layout. I did have 4 originally, but because I'd printed out the photos in 4 by 6, they were a little too large. I would have definitely used all 4 photos if I had have printed my photos in 3 by 4, but I didn't. My printer's run out of ink. I've got an Epson PictureMate, which you can't get in Australia anymore. You can't get the new one either. And my PictureMate's on its last legs. It's the PM235, so it's, an older model. And so I'm just kind of holding off using it except when I need to like reprint a photo or print something off in a hurry. So these ones I sent out I submitted them online to Officeworks in Australia and went and picked them up the next day. And I just couldn't be bothered putting all the photos back onto my phone, using the Project Life app to put them into 2 3x4 photos on a 4x6, and then putting them back on my computer and then resubmitting them to Officeworks. So I will do that for next time when I'm a bit more organised, but this time around they just all got printed in 4x6. So I am a little bit more limited in how many photos I can fit on a page, but that's okay. We'll get there. So I have kind of stuck down quite a few of my clusters because I wanted my tricycle cut file to go on top of my photos. So often I make the photos sort of on top of the cut file, but this time I'm doing it the other way around. The photos have been stuck flat onto the layout and all the embellishments and the cut files are going on top. Something a bit different for me. I've popped up some things, although not many of them actually, on foam. I sort of just popped a couple of things up, like I stuck down a floral piece on the wheel of the tricycle, and then I'm sticking down some wood veneer to give it a little bit of dimension. And I've also got another one of the Charms Creations that I've been using a lot lately. I've got a circle this time with some gold detail, which I just think goes really well with the collection. And then I'm sticking a wood veneer on top of it. Circle wood veneer. I don't know. I like these Charms Creations. They add a little bit of detail, bit of texture, something a little bit different, and I haven't used them before. I've had a whole heap, but they've just been sitting in my stash and now I'm getting them used up. So I've added 3 wood veneer, 1 into each cluster. This layout was super quick to put together actually, which I often say that with my cut file layouts, but they really are. The backing the cut file is the hardest part and the bit that takes the longest, but I do it in front of the TV at night time. When I'm sitting with my partner. So the actual putting together of the layout is pretty straightforward. So I think I'm nearly done. I come in with my title now. So you can see this is my title, kind of bringing it all together. I had to doctor my thickers. I didn't have any E's, so I just used the letter F, and I added a little bit of extra thicker off, I think a Z, to create the E. And my title is It's All About Those Wheels. So as I said, I wanted to use the tricycle cut file with these photos of my son and his obsession with all things wheels, and the title kind of brings it all together. I will do a line or two of journaling on this. I don't do a lot of journaling, but I will do a line or two just so that I remember the story, I guess, behind the photos. But I will do that off camera. If you know me well, I don't do my journaling on camera very often because I like to think about what I'm writing and check the date and whatnot before I put all of that onto the layout. Now I know I come in with some Nuvo drops, and I'm using my favourite Nuvo drops at the moment, the Antique Rose colour, which I'm just loving. I think everybody needs this colour of Nuvo drop. If you don't have it, highly recommend. It goes with many things. They're a little bit, I don't know whether it was a bit cold this day when I was doing it, but they're not nicely domed, but that's okay. They'll flatten out a little bit when I put it into the album. But they're a bit pointy for my liking, but that's okay. Oh, and I also come in with some gold splatters, and this is, I know people often ask me because I used up my Heidi Swap Colour Shine. Let me pull out the bottle so I can tell you what it is. It is the Marabou Art Spray. It's a mixed media art spray and acrylic paint spray, and it's in gold. I also have the silver version as well, which I use both. So these are the Nuvo drops that I'm doing. You probably can't tell on camera that they're not nicely domed because they're a little small. But I don't know, I keep it stored upside down, but yeah, I don't know why they're not nicely domed. If you're a Nuvo drops lover, please tell me. Now I'm all finished. I missed giving you a close-up, so sorry, like waving hands. I've finished my layout. So here are the close-up photos. Thank you so much for watching. As always, everything will be linked in the description box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Bye.